All right, so we've started recording. Let me share my screen. Let's go with the screen. Why doesn't it just share? Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, welcome to our August STNC Budget and Finance meeting. Calling the meeting to order at 6:05 p.m. This is Ed Vivekanian, Treasurer. Quick roll call. So we've got Ed. I'm here. We've got Sandy.
I'm here.
Thank you. And Sandy's calling in from a faraway place. Thank you. And Patty.
Here.
All right. That is our three musketeers. That's part of this this committee. So appreciate that. General announcements. We'll hit a few of the things later on in the agenda. But one thing I want to get to real quickly, as we were putting together this agenda, there was an email that I did not see. I still don't see it in my inbox, but was able to get that from Sandy that added an agenda item to this meeting. It will be discussed at about 6:30 on a special agenda. So we were able to get that on. And I think we have Evelyn here to talk to it. So that's awesome. Other items, we do have one MER still outstanding from the city. We did get one of them released, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the challenges we were having there down in the agenda. Any other general announcements?
No, none from me.
Awesome. All right, so let's go to item number 4 then. Public comment on any non-agenda items. Does anybody have any comment on any non-agenda items? We'll go to the committee first. I don't see any hands. Sandy, I see your hand.
Sandy has her hand raised.
Well, my hand was raised from the last time. I don't know how to take it down from the phone.
Oh, okay, I'll do that. Thanks.
Thanks. Go ahead, Sandy. Well, was that on the general announcements?
I don't have any announcements. Yeah, no, it was just to let you know that I was in attendees.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. All right. So seeing no hands, we'll keep going. So our first item here is, item number 5, discussion action approved August 2022 monthly expenditure report and balances. Do I have a motion?
Patty will move.
Thanks, Patty.
Sandy second.
Thank you, Sandy. All right, so let's talk through where we are relative to our spend. So far we have spent $3,179.89. In terms of the expenditures on this month's MER, we do have, I think starting right down here, we have US storage, $643. We have the web corner, which is our normal monthly spend there, $150. Sunland printing, which is related to the NNO, $11.50. Smart and Final, $108.93. Smart and Final, $96.74. Both of those are for the National Night Out. Those are commodities, candies, water, that kind of stuff. $30.06 for Smart and Final, $15.31 for Smart and Final, all related to the National Night Out. Then we come to one of the first items that's giving us a little bit of a pain on the MER issue. It is the constant contact invoice. And the challenge is, I'm going to go ahead and open the invoice. The invoice that we received from Constant Contact that we have been receiving since I've been in this position, and I want to say probably before that, is this invoice here. And it correctly identifies everything about Constant Contact. So it's STNC is noted, has the date, has their contact information down here, their phone number. The one thing it is missing is this description field. Sorry, guys. This description field is blank. And the city has decided almost a year and a half into my term here that they need this completed in order to accept this invoice. So working with Carol, I think she has access to Constant Contact. I don't know, Cindy, if you do, but that's one of the challenges that we have on the MER. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. but I need to get into their actual system and pull down probably some PDF. I'm hoping there's a PDF version of that invoice that has what the city is looking for.
Well, okay, can I ask about that? They've already applied it to the August expenditures, right?
They have, but it's flagged. If you look here,
Okay, well, the only reason I'm saying that, who we talking, constant contact. If you look at what they said we spent this year and when I get to my thing, they've paid for July and August, end of story.
oh,
So-
absolutely. No, they paid for them.
Oh, okay,
They're not
okay.
questioning whether or not they paid for them. They paid for them for the last year and a half. It's just that they're flagging the invoice that we've uploaded. It's saying
Oh,
it
okay,
doesn't meet the requirements.
okay.
So that's the
I know
thing.
what they're asking for, Ed.
What's that?
I know what they're asking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
maybe-
the language. I know the language from the old constant contact invoices. I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's something to the effect. It lets them know what our constant contact for contacts in the amount of 0 to whatever. I think it's, I don't know the exact amount, 2,500
Huh.
for
Oh,
outreach.
in terms of the number of contacts we have, yeah, the plan itself. Yeah, and again, I'm hoping to get that from Constant Contact's website. So I'll connect with you, Sandy, if I'm not able to find it. We'll see if it's getting some.
I'll when I get home on Monday, when I get home on Friday, I'll send you an old invoice that I have that has that language.
Okay, I appreciate it. That's silliness, but it is what it
It's
is.
so silly. All right, yeah.
All right, thanks. Then we have this Adobe invoice. This is a standard invoice. We get 2 of them per month, one for my account, one for Cindy's account. This is how we get digital signatures on all the BACs. And then lastly, we have a Smart and Final invoice, which just came through. I haven't gotten the invoice yet from Cindy. So as soon as I'm not Cindy, Carol. So as soon as I get that, I'll post it here and let you guys know what that is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's also for a national night out, but well, I'm assuming, and they put it under uncategory. They didn't put under outreach or anything like that. The city did. I noticed that today. So
Well, the only thing with this one, the transaction date is August 19th, National Night Out.
yeah, that was all. Yeah, but I agree with you, but I don't know if they always do that right. But yeah, I know what you
yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
But but Carol's out of town. I was going to ask her, which I know she's in the road right now. I was going to ask her, and I'll try to ask her too what that's for tomorrow. So,
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, so that is what is outstanding. Again, we won't be able to issue this MERV in time for the next board meeting on early in September, so we'll get it in October. But I do want to kind of have this body, actually, since we've reviewed it, we can go ahead and vote on it, and then once it comes down from their website, we'll get it to the board.
Tell me this, does that MERC, because I can't get to a MERC until it's posted, I can only get to the city website. And according to the city website, what they have spent so far, what's the balance is, agrees with me. So which is everything on that, should be on that MERC. What do you have to do to approve that MERC to get it posted?
I have to get that thing for Constant Contact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay.
Good times.
So Ed, I may be able to give you something that might work. I'm looking now and I'll
Okay.
let you know.
Okay, that'd be great. Let's go ahead and take a vote on what we just reviewed, though. Patty,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
and Ed is a yes. All right.
And
we can
I
switch-
just have one. Sorry, one quick question.
Go ahead.
Why is it coming under? I noticed that too, under uncategorized. Is that because we've never had that?
For Smart and
before.
Final, or for something else?
No, for like the little the pie graph. It'll
Oh,
say
at the home
what's
over
for
here.
what's for outreach, what's for NPGs, blah blah blah, and then it has, now it's an uncategorized piece of the pie.
Yeah, that's what I said that one was, and I'm sure it should be outreach, but maybe because I guess they posted it only because they got the credit card charge. They don't have the backup.
Yeah,
So the backup, when we
Okay.
get the backup, that should say outreach on it.
right. Because when we post the invoice, we kind of categorize it ourselves. So we would categorize as outreach at that point.
Okay, so that's just kind of like it's in limbo right at the moment, so it's
Correct.
uncategorized. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
That's right. Okay. So I think we've all three voted yes on that one, so we're good. So I'll stop sharing for a second. If Patty, if you want to share, I think you said everything.
Yeah, I
Time's
do,
out, but-
because I do have some questions.
Yep,
Okay, oh, yes, okay, is my graph up there?
yep.
Okay. I think I missed the last meeting from STNC, what they approved. So I do want to make sure I have the agenda in front of me. So I want to make sure that from not this meeting, well, that they've already approved. I know they approved the 2,000 for the movies. Where'd I put that? That was approved, right? Movie in the park.
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
that's been approved.
And then 150 for the water.
I believe so.
Okay, and 300 for the national
Business
business
cards.
cards, and 150, and that's not in community, that's not a MPJ or anything. So 150, 1,500 to Make It Wish backpacks,
Mhm.
and the 600 for a banner. Okay, my question is, if anybody here knows, so far, including that miscellaneous one we just talked about, National Night Out has spent $817.55. That leaves them $2,020 from the 3,000 they were allotted.
Mhm.
Do you know if there's any more bills coming in? I'm thinking Nina who paid for the band? That wouldn't have come out of Smart and Final. So do you happen to
No,
know?
there should be a separate invoice for the band. I
Yeah.
don't know if they volunteered their time or not, but there
I
should
don't
be a
think
separate
so.
invoice for that.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Um,
leave that 2,200 still allocated, but not spent right there on my thing.
Yeah, and in years past, at least last year, we didn't
Mhm.
spend the full allotment. We spent less than even 2,000, which
I
think
know,
we
yeah,
wanted last
exactly.
year,
I
so
think that's too much.
I don't
um,
think they'll spend it all. but
Yeah,
we'll
so
see.
I'll ask that, and I want to ask Sue, since this is passed already, then the 2,000, if you happen to know, I know we've talked about getting equipment to do that. Is this 2,000 for equipment, or is it to hire a company to come in and do it? Do you happen to know?
I'm not certain. I don't think I was in the last
Yeah,
board meeting. It happened
Okay.
right as I returned or just before.
okay, I'll ask, maybe this Cheryl's thing, because they're supposed to give a detail of this and that, and I'm
Yes.
just wondering if they actually went through the storage to see what we do have or what was no good in there and get rid of what's no good. So,
Yeah.
Patty, are
Uh-huh.
you talking about the movie in the
yeah,
idea? They don't have it decided where they're having it and all of those details. The vote was really to, approve the idea. and
okay,
The details haven't been ironed out. They
okay.
still
So
need
it still might count buying projectors and all that as opposed to hiring a company. I think hiring a company is so much easier.
Yeah, well, it is, but this is so much more less expensive. I think when we looked at it, we were talking about 1,500.
Yeah, okay.
And what I found in terms of equipment was even less than that. So I would imagine we'll be buying, an inflatable screen and a projector and some speakers.
Oh, wow. More places to storage. Thank you.
I know.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Everything else okay on your spreadsheet? Is it
Yeah,
tracking to the
so
expenses?
as you can see, what's been approved already by the STNC, not yet spent, is $9,668. So anyway, what we know we're going to spend, I have on here, all these monthly things
Yep.
that we've either already spent or that we know we have to spend is 14,800.
Okay.
Then if we take away the part that's already been allotted, which yes, I realize it changed a couple of thousand.
Yep.
That's that 968. I don't see the new STNC agenda, so I don't know what else is going to be on there. Well, that will be tonight's thing.
Yep.
Because this is what we're at right now on tonight's agendas, just under 4,900.
Yep. And that
So-
includes the special item, right?
The what?
That includes the special item, the MPG.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Okay.
So basically, not counting our rollover, we've got $2,500 left to spend.
Woohoo. Rolling.
Yeah. So we need to be very picky and stingy on what we're going to be approving or ask the board to
Yeah.
approve.
And I got to check on the rollover. The last thing I saw was that they were going to give us the 10.
Yeah.
But they haven't actually given it to us yet. So.
Yeah, it always takes a little while.
Yeah.
And I know it's not on the agenda, but I'm going to ask anyway, since we're doing over my list. I haven't put anything in for elections.
Right. It's on the budget, but not been specifically approved yet. Exactly.
Yeah. So, I'm sure that's going to be 10,000. I don't really know. I don't remember, but just FYI, this figures down here at the bottom do not include the election.
Got it.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks for that update. Let us see. So the next item is number 7. So this is discussion action approval of an update in the budget for approval of additional Zoom account and charges of $163.39. Do I have a motion to discuss this item?
Patty will move.
Thank
Sandy
you.
will second.
Thank you. So this item, so as you guys know, the city provided us one Zoom account. Last year, we added a second one, and it's an annual billing. So Patty, I think you have it on your list as 163 a month.
That's what I was going to ask. It's an annual, huh? Okay. Makes more sense. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's an annual bill of 163.39. The question really to the board is, do we need this? And Cindy, I see your hand raised. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think that the board voted to have 2 Zoom accounts provided from Dunn. Dunn is now providing one, and we won't need to pay until next April. So that when the billing comes again. But if we want an additional one, then they're $200 for the year. And I do, part of me recommends that you get a second one, but we eliminate the other one, which was the non-webinar version, which is, I think, $14 or $16 a month that you're paying.
That's the one that we're paying now.
That one should be eliminated if you go for the second webinar account. And the only, so that's all. That way, if people are going to hold meetings at close to or within 15 minutes of another meeting, there won't be a collision.
Got it. Okay. So how about this? Why don't we amend this? I wrote it up, so I'll amend it to an approval of an additional Zoom account and charges up to 200. Let's call it 205. I don't know how much it is. If it's 200 flat, that's great. Let's call it 205. That way we can contact Dunn and say, use your, we'll use your second one if that's what we want to do. So I'm going to amend this to charges of up to $205 annually.
Did you have it before? What did you have?
I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can go above what we already put on the agenda. Am I right?
We can't go above, we can only go below?
Okay, I have a question to ask though. We already paid $163.39. So is
Correct.
that
So
for
we
the
would-
extra one, not the one that, that was for the extra one that we arranged. And if it's a yearly thing,
That's
do we
right.
get a refund on that?
That's right. Right. So we would get a refund for the
Okay.
163.39 when we canceled that one out. I didn't realize Dunn was letting us buy another account. I just heard they were only giving us one. So, okay. So then
That's separately been voted on already by the board.
having a second account, but has it been voted on to fund it?
No.
Yeah, I think we probably need to. So how about this? So if we can't adjust up on this.
Why don't we just put it up for next month? Because this one's already in play anyway. It's not like we're
Yeah.
gonna miss out next month, right?
Yep, I agree. That's what I was gonna say is we vote this guy down, or you can vote however you want, but I will vote it down and we'll put it on next month's agenda for the 200.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so any questions about this item? I don't see any hands, so I'll take it to a vote. Patty,
Okay, what'd you say? No?
thank you. Sandy
No,
and Ed will vote no. So that one does not pass, and we'll add it to next month's agenda with the correct amount. Okay. All right, moving right along, item number 8, approval in budget, in updated budget costs for USPS, $404, previously budgeted at $388. The budget was based on what we knew at the time. And US storage, $5,144. The previous budget was $5388. There was a change in the rate. So that is the item there. I should have asked for a motion to discuss. Do I have a motion to discuss this item?
Patty will motion.
Thank you, Patty.
Sandy second. Sandy
Thanks,
second.
Sandy. Okay, so again, approving, basically, we're just approving changes in the budget to match the actual costs. So USPS came in at 404. US storage is going to come in at 5144.
I do have a question on that.
Yep.
Okay, I know we paid for 2 different amounts in August, but I'm just trying to figure out what this monthly is. I don't think this 533.88 is correct. You divide that by 12. Am I doing
50.
this?
5388 was the original budgeted amount. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Oh, what are we going up to? We're going down?
we're going down, which is surprising. I better check my math.
Yeah, because do you still have that? What did we pay for it this month? We paid $643. In July, they charged us $587, and in August, $643. And
Yeah.
I don't really, I figured that's where the price increase was coming through sometime. They didn't really do it right. And
Yeah, so 643. Well, let me get my little calculator here. So there are 2.
yeah, but 643 would be the grand total of them, wouldn't it? If that. Yeah, wait a minute. No, we were paying $499 each before.
Yeah. It's 5, 8 here. Let me pull up the actual invoice. Let's go with that. You guys are still seeing my screen, right?
I don't. Wait a minute. I'm looking at my own screen. No, I don't. So
August. US storage. 643. Yeah, 643 is the total
for 2 of them or
For
1 of
both.
them?
for
Okay.
both.
Okay,
So
so we'd have to go by
643.
11 maybe. So we're still talking the $7,000
That's
bracket.
$7,000. Yeah, I must have made a mistake on the calculating here. So it's 7716. So this might be another one we got to wait until next. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll submit a new budget next month anyways, because we should do a new one on the quarter with everything all in.
Okay,
So, because we've got the USPS in here, at least we can approve that, get that up and running. The US storage, I'll adjust the amounts, but yeah, because the other thing with US storage, I did talk to Lenny. Looks like they have moved the owl boxes out. There may be some opportunity to get rid of one of these.
oh, okay,
So if we run at 309.50 plus 12, or 643 divided by 2, that's like $2,500. So
okay.
that's a heck of a lot better than what we're paying now. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one forward as it is, and we'll adjust again next month once we find out if we can go down to 1. So, and again, feel free to vote accordingly, however you like. Patty
No,
and Sandy,
No,
Ed? I'll vote no. All right, so we'll adjust that for next time. Next item, discussion action, approve $509.75 for extension of insurance policy with Meriwether and Williams related to extended completion schedule of Pinewood mural through 3/1/23. Do I have a motion to discuss?
Patty will. Patty moves.
Thanks, Patty.
Andy second.
Thanks, Andy. Okay, so this one is, it looks like our chief artist on the project got ill and was unable to do work on it for about a month, which means it's going to, the opening date is scheduled for September 1st, which is in a week. That's not going to happen. So here's the quote from the insurance company to extend the insurance. Now, here's the thing I want to make sure everybody's aware. We really don't have any more money for materials. Only about $200 that was left in last year's budget. We haven't approved anything for this year's budget. So the only thing we're approving here is an extension of the insurance coverage, not any additional materials, anything like that. So 509.75 is the extension of the insurance. It's kind of silly. We got a $200 broker fee in there, but it is what it is, I guess. So that is the extension on the insurance. Any questions on that? I see one hand, KT. Go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Fabulous. I just want to let you know, because we got a report from Gerardo last night in the Stark Committee, that the holdup is actually LAUSD. There's damage to the wall. In other words, the mural is finished, but there's damage to the wall that is destroying part of the mural that LAUSD is supposed to repair, and then that section get repainted. So that's what the holdup is. I don't know if that makes any difference on the way that you'll vote, but I thought you might want that information. Thank you.
I appreciate the clarification there. I guess I had heard that there was an issue and they were going to stop the mural where it was at and just paint that section a blank color. I didn't realize that's what the holdup was, LAUSD. So thanks for that clarification.
You're welcome.
Marjorie, go ahead.
I'm on the beautification committee, and I've also been working with Gerardo on the mural. There's two issues going on here. Yes, there's the problem with the wall, which is further on, but we're not done with the part that we can finish. We can, he's got the materials to go. He just needs the insurance to get done. There's to the miners vignette. And if anybody can drop by that mural, what he's done is absolutely fabulous. I mean, he's a man of detail. He won't rush it through. He won't just slap paint on it. It's incredible what he's done. So I know money's really, really tight, but he needs the money. The work will stop, and he could do more. He has the paint, he has everything. But there's two issues. You see, KT's correct that there's problems further up, because he wanted it to go to the whole length of the wall. And so, yes, there are issues when we get past to two more vignettes, but he can complete the vignettes we have, which haven't been completed, which is to the miners by, he just needs the insurance. Because he did get COVID, and it happened. He was the month before.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. And that's kind of the latest I'd heard. So I heard both issues, and appreciate both of you guys providing the information.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions on the insurance? And any questions from the committee? All right, well, I'll put this guy to a vote. Patty?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
And Ed is a yes. All right, so we will extend that insurance policy, or we'll take it to the board. Okay, we do have a special meeting at 6:30. I'm gonna ask the committee real quickly. Are you okay just continuing knocking these last two things out? Then we'll go to the special.
Yes.
All right. So the next item, number 9, is review the MER generation issues, provide an update. And this is just me being very transparent with the committee and all the folks on the call here. So we talked about one of the issues being a request for additional information from our vendor Constant Contact. And I think we've got to solve for that. The other one was an erroneous charge on our credit card that has been rectified. It's been refunded back to the city. They just have not credited our account just yet. That's for $14.99. And we're just waiting on that credit to go through. Once those 2 items are updated, we'll get the July MER released, and then immediately thereafter, the August MER released.
Okay, I do have a question. That $14.99, is that to Amazon?
It is. It's for
Okay.
Amazon Music. It's my fault, guys. We
Okay.
had purchased something for one of the committees using Amazon, and Amazon defaulted to that card when they charged for a music subscription. So we've got that resolved, got it refunded, but it takes forever now.
Oh, I thought maybe from the July, from July board meeting to accept the $14.99 reimbursement to us. Oh, that's
That's
to,
it. That's what it
it
is.
to receive the $14.99. Okay.
That's it.
I was thinking it was due to you. Okay, so I'll put a
Oh,
note
I
here.
gotta pay them.
Okay, this is to be a refund.
That's right.
This will be refunded. Okay, I'm gonna put that on my thing, because right now I do have it as it was paid on my chart, so. Okay,
So that comes off. Real quickly, I do see hand up. Marjorie, did you have another question? Oh, hand just went
I
down.
apologize.
All right, no worries. Okay, cool. So that one is done. That was just an update. The last one here, just from our own perspective, and we'll talk about it in a second. So discussion, possible action, request all committees submitting expense reports to provide a vendor analysis and adequate reasoning for choosing an out-of-state vendor for procurement of goods. And I'll talk a little bit about that, why I added this here. Do we have a motion to discuss?
Patty moves.
Thanks, Patty.
Sandy second.
Thanks, Sandy. So added this here. So coming into this fiscal year, at the end of last fiscal year, we approved a sizable chunk of money to be used for some outreach items, and had some conversations with the outreach team around the vendor that was being chosen, and kind of said, hey, we're probably going to get some flack on this because it's an out-of-state vendor. But we were up against the gun in terms of the fiscal budget ending and a couple of things, related to timing. So we went forward with it as it was. And we had suggested some additional vendors, but there just wasn't time to go and research and get the print ready and get all the things that needed to get done ready to go to generate it. And so as luck would have it, of course, we did get flack online. And personally, I kind of feel like this is something that this committee should be tasked to do. Because if there's an opportunity to get goods and services from a local vendor, this is California, pretty much everything in the world is available here. It's less costly to ship items. And of course, we're benefiting local businesses wherever possible. So that's the genesis of this request of this committee, to kind of consider this thought and make that recommendation to the general board. And again, we're recommending that any committee that needs to purchase goods or services considers a local provider of those goods and services before going out of state. If they have to go out of state, to provide some analysis that, hey, we tried to find a vendor that did this and we just were not successful, and here's why. Any questions on that? Anybody disagree with that? Well, I guess let's not talk about disagreement, but let's just, in terms of questions about the ask.
I agree. I'm for it.
Thanks. I don't see any questions. Awesome. So let me put this one to a vote. Sandy,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
that is a yes. All right. Awesome. So let me go ahead and adjourn this normal meeting at 7 p.m. Thank you guys for your time. Thanks for paying attention. And I'm going to start the special meeting. I'm going to leave the recording going, so we'll just include it in this session here. But let me open up the agenda for the special meeting. Give me just 1 second here. All right, so calling this special meeting to order at 6:39. Just a quick roll call. Patty,
Yes, here.
Sandy,
Here.
and Ed is here. General announcements, nothing new on my end. Anybody else have any general announcements? Seeing no hands and no general announcements, I'm gonna move us forward into the actual items. Oh, we have public comments on any non-agenda items. Do I have any public comments on non-agenda items? Check the hands. I see one that just popped up and then went away. Oh, back again. Well, I see a hand, but I don't see whose it is. Liliana. Go ahead, Liliana.
Hi, this is Liliana Sanchez. And my public comment is actually in gratitude of Sandy Caps, who actually was very professional on getting our item agendized. She went above and beyond to make sure that she was being fair, and posted online that we should be submitting MPGs for events across the board as a general comment. So we did, and that's why we're here today. But I just want to thank her in particular for going through with this. Thank you very much, Sandy, for your help.
Thanks, Liana, and definitely appreciate that work. As I mentioned earlier, I think there was an email sent with this information. I did not see it, so I didn't see it when I did the agenda, but luckily Sandy was able to catch it and get that agendized, so appreciate that. All right, any other public comments? I don't see any hands, so we'll move right into the topic. So item number 5, approve neighborhood purpose grant in the amount of $4,390 to ST Forward Incorporated for community second annual Indigenous Peoples Day event held on October 10th, 2022. Do I have a motion to discuss?
I'll move so we can discuss it.
Thanks, Patty. I'll second. This is Ed. All right, so I can pull up the grant itself, and I believe we have a speaker. Evelyn, are you going to speak to this, or KT?
Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm here to speak to it and answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Let me pull up the NPG itself. Apologies, guys. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Maybe. Evelyn, if you want to go ahead and start, just kind of give us a background of what is the Indigenous Peoples Day, what is the event about, if you don't mind.
No problem. Thank you for making time for the item, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. I'm a member of an organization that's now a nonprofit called ST Forward, and one key element of our mission is equity and also inclusion. And last year, we worked pretty hard in creating the first Indigenous Peoples Day event, or at least that we knew of, for San Lantahanga, and it was very, very successful. As you know, Indigenous Peoples Day celebrated second week of October in general. Sometimes it's also celebrated during Indigenous Heritage Month in November. So this year we're celebrating on Sunday, October 9th. And I would say it's an improved version of last year's event. Last year's event was very successful. We have over 400 attendees. We had many Indigenous folks from different nations join us as presenters and performers. And this year, what we're super excited about is that the event is being co-planned with an Indigenous culture bearer called Lázaro Arbizu. He's a Tomba Gabrielino Indigenous person. The goal behind this event last year, and of course this year as well, is to center Indigenous people's voices, to get the general public in direct presence and exchange and dialogue and learning with Indigenous peoples of different groups. They're all in, generally speaking, local groups. So we have representation by Tongva, Tatavian, and Chumash, among others. And what's really special about this year, and just really brings me a lot of pleasure to share with you, is that with the addition of Lázaro as our essentially our indigenous advisor, we had added, in addition to the presentations, this other dimension of cultural tables or cultural areas where we're going to have Indigenous peoples from various nations tabling these zones, and the public is going to be having that more direct conversation, an opportunity to sit down with them, have long conversations with them, see them practicing specific cultural practices, different materials that they're going to be bringing with them. So the educational component which is something that we had learned from our post-event surveys last year, which people wanted more of. That's what we're offering. We're adding that new dimension to the event this year. So we're super excited about that. So there will be those cultural presentations. There will be the educational opportunities. There's going to be an art exhibition throughout this location. Oh, I didn't say anything about the location, which is really important. The event is going to be in Big Tahunga, and it's in land that's right now managed by the MRCA. And I could say that Sunland Tahunga should be very proud that that land hasn't been developed. It was that reality is the result of a lot of incredible activism and advocacy by our community that preserved 111 acres of Big Tahunga and saved it from development. So the event happens literally like we're surrounded by beautiful, mountains. The event happens under these beautiful oaks. So there's a lot of shade. There are vendors, there is food. So it's like a festival atmosphere. It's for the whole family. Everybody's invited, it's free. Yeah, maybe I'll stop there. And if you all might have some questions, I'm here to answer them.
Thanks, Evelyn. I do have some questions, but let me go to the participants first. Do we have any questions from the committee?
I don't think it's a question, it's a comment. I don't know if you want me to make a comments now. That's unrealistic, the amount they're asking for. End of story.
Okay.
I have
Any
a comment,
other-
Sandy.
Go ahead, Sandy.
Committee. Yeah. What's in our category for NPGs, Ed?
For the budget?
Yes.
Give me 2 seconds here.
Well, Sandy, what was your question?
She was
The
asking what the
category.
budget is.
For
Well,
NPGs.
we put $2,500 to the budget right now. That's what the budget is for.
We have 2,500 in the budget.
That's what was allocated for NPGs just for this fiscal year?
That's right.
Yes.
Here's our fiscal year budget.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Thank you.
Actually, should we do we need to make a motion or do we make a motion already? Oh, I did make a motion. Never
Yeah,
mind.
we
I
did
did that.
already.
Fine, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, we got our
Yeah.
motion. All right. And so I think that is the questions that are kind of floating around. The question I had was really around the MRCA venue rental. That seems to be the largest piece of the cost. Is there a building there? Because MRCA basically owns all the land in the wash and up through on the north side of Big Tonga Canyon. Is there a venue somewhere, or is this just a payment to them reuse their land?
I could answer that question if you think is helpful. So right now there is no building in that particular location. It's a rental fee for the day use. So it's like a day use fee, and it also includes 3 rangers that they were considering having there that day. I should mention that we're in the process of trying to negotiate that fee down, and want to enter it in a different kind of partnership, but we still haven't solidified that. And I had a wondering, because I wasn't aware that there was that 2,500 budgeted, if it's possible to fund at least some of the items instead of the full amount that we're requesting.
I think you'd have to resubmit a adjusted budget, but I don't know if we'll have time before the next committee meeting. So what would be your request in place of the 4,390? At least we can amend the request.
Wait a minute, I'm not reading the agenda right now. Did it say up to, or did it say that amount?
I believe it says, I think it says that amount.
Oh, that exact amount.
So Sandy,
Yeah,
I'm
in the amount of
gonna ask
4,390.
this question to Sandy. Can we say a different amount right now, or does it have to be I know if it said up to, then we could say,
We
no,
can
we're
al-
only gonna approve an X amount.
We can always go down. We just can't go over.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Would it be possible to ask for the 2,500 or for the items that are not the venue rental, if that makes sense?
I don't know if we have to specify exactly what it's for. I'm sorry, but this is the beginning of our budget, and there's other organizations out there that will be having things that the community is much more interested in or would participate more in. And I would go with 1,500. I would have no problem with 1,500.
I was going to say the same. I think I would support that too. And again, Evelyn, it's just to preserve some of the budget for other activities later on in the year.
That makes perfect sense. Understanding that that's what you had allocated. I appreciate any support.
Okay. I do have a question in the attendees office area. KT, go ahead.
I just had a brief anecdote to share. Toward the end of our first IPD celebration, we had a surprise visit from a dozen-strong firefighting brigade of the National Forestry Service. One of our team scurried in response, and we all hoped our permit for the event was fully in order. But the firefighters had come for a greater purpose. They came to discuss indigenous fire practices that shaped our land, that promote ecological diversity and reduce the risk of catastrophic fires, a system the indigenous call cultural burning, or fire as medicine. We offered so many different possibilities at the Indigenous Peoples Day event to suggest that it's not of general interest when it was of interest to our local firefighters who keep our community safe from forest fires. I think you just have to come and know how broad the reach and the offering of our indigenous culture bearers is. Thank you.
Yep, I appreciate that. Thanks, KT. Going back to the suggestion just a moment ago, Evelyn, do you want us to adjust, or KT, I think you actually put this forward, so either one of you guys can answer. Do you want us to adjust the request to 1,500?
I'm open to that possibility, yes, if that's what feels fair at the moment. And I agree with KT. I want to, first off, I definitely would love for you to come to the event. It's going to be really wonderful. And it was really well attended. The numbers I share are not an exaggeration. We had over 400 folks there, every age. This year we're reaching out to the schools as well, because we're hoping that this is such an amazing educational opportunity. So we're hoping that our local students and their family members and perhaps teachers will come as well. But yes, we will take whatever you can give us in terms of support and appreciate anything you can do. Thank you.
Perfect.
Ed, may I say something? Evelyn, would it be, the offer too would be that the neighborhood council could have a table to do outreach there as well?
No, that's a really good question. We made Lázaro brought this up to us, and we are focusing that all the tables be indigenous led. So we have the nonprofits that are there are going to be indigenous. For example, we have the Indigenous Boat Project. So all the tables will be indigenous led. However, if funding is provided, of course, we would give credit to STNC. We're printing banners, so that information would be there. We would make an announcement that, of course, yeah, we would give credit. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Okay.
All right, thanks. Okay, so let me read the amended item and then we'll take it to a vote. So approve neighborhood purpose grant in the amount of $1,500 to ST Forward Incorporated for community's second annual Indigenous Peoples Day event held on October 10th, 2022. And the event should include advertisement of the STNC. Is that clear? Is that okay?
Okay.
Acknowledgement, like we.
Acknowledgement
we
of the
do-
STNC. Okay. So that's what we'll adjust it to that. Let me go ahead and put that to a vote. Go ahead.
Let me move, Sandy moves that amendment.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. I do have a second.
Patty?
Thanks, Patty. Okay. I do see one quick question before we go to a vote. Actually, looks like two. KT, go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know that we do publicize on banners, posters, etc., our co-sponsors, and include their logo.
Perfect. I think that's what we're looking for. Thank you. And Cindy?
I just have a question. Since it's an NPG that's been, presented for its base amount, whatever it is, what's coming out of this committee is a recommendation for the 1,500 amount. Is that what I'm understanding?
That's right.
Okay.
It sounds like the paperwork probably needs to be amended.
So
before it goes to the city.
You would leave. Yeah, I don't know. It's something you have to find out. I would think leaving the paperwork as it is, and then this is a recommendation from this committee.
Got it. Okay, we can do that. And then anyways, it's going to go to the broader committee, the broader, executive committee. So the board. Okay. Any other hands up questions? I don't see anything. So we'll take it to a vote. Sandy?
Yes.
Patty?
Yes.
And Ed, yes. Motion passes. We'll recommend 1,500 funding for this MPG. Thank you, guys. Let me see. I think that is it for our meeting this evening, and we are adjourning at 6:58 p.m. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of the night.
Thank you so much.
Thank